All right, this is how I'm gonna hit $30,000 per month in the next 90 days. So I'm just literally I'm making this for myself, honestly, just to document where I'm at, my plan. And I think just going through it is honestly gonna help me stick to it and make sure that I'm clear on exactly what I need to do. But I left a bunch of space. I'm gonna go over exactly how I do this. Just a super raw video. Honestly, don't care about the views. Again, I'm more making this for me. But if any of you guys find this valuable, that'd be awesome as well. I think you'll get a lot of value from this if you're in the online business space looking to start an SMMA or just scale, just so you can see what I'm doing. And I've seen a lot of videos like this. And yeah, so I'm just gonna basically show you my plan. I'm not trying to compare this to other people's. I'm just gonna show you literally what I'm gonna do, what's been working for me, and how I'm planning to hit 30K per month. So I don't know if it's unconventional, if it's different, unique, but this is just what I'm doing. So by all means, you don't need to follow this. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. I'm just gonna show how I'm planning to do it and what's going to work for me, right? So take from it what you will, but I hope that you can get at least some little pieces from this that you find valuable. And as well, if you do have any questions about any of this or you want to connect with me, just DM me on Instagram at noah.haupt. It's in the description as well. But I'll send I always like connecting with you guys. And if you have any questions, I can send a voice note, a video, all that sort of stuff. So just feel free to DM me. But anyways, let's get into it. So this is where I'm at right now. I just wanted to put this screenshot in here from Stripe so you have some context on where I'm at. So as of recording this, it is March 16th, 2025. And you can see the month to date, we're at 7,200 this month. So about 16 days in March, we're at 7,200. So that gives you an idea on where I'm at. Now, what I will say right off the start is that first getting those first couple clients and those first high ticket clients is the hardest part by far. Personally, I think it's going to be extremely easy. Now, I don't want to sound cocky just because I obviously haven't done it yet, but I don't think it's going to be even close to as hard of just getting to this number, right? Because once you have those results, you have the foundation of your business. It's a lot easier to scale. Really, it's all about systems and just continuing to do what works after you've collected all that data. And speaking of data, something that I will say is right now I'm making sure that I'm tracking literally everything in my agency. So that I think that's something that's super super important that I lacked, I didn't do, and I think a lot of other beginner agency owners really miss out on. They just don't do it. Is just tracking. So tracking your sales, your show up rate, your close rate, your pitch rate. If you're cold calling, how many calls did you make? How many picked up? What's your appointment booking ratio? What's your pickup rate? And because just what doesn't get tracked doesn't get improved, right? That's what everybody says, but it's true, right? If there's a bottleneck in your business but you don't track your data, you're not going to know what it is. So maybe you're changing something that's already working for you when you could be tweaking something else that's not working. And the only way you're going to 100% know what it is if you look at the data. Even if you have a good idea on what it is, which you probably do, let's say, for example, it's sales, your closing rate just sucks. Let's say that. But if you track the data and you figure out that, okay, I'm only getting a 30% show rate, it's not necessarily your sales that sucks. It's just you're not getting enough sales calls, right? Nobody's showing up. So you would tweak your sales process when it's really the show up rate that's kind of hurting you. So that's why you need to track. And that's what I'm doing in my agency as well. So I highly recommend getting some tracking sheets, tracking literally everything. It's just going to make your life a lot easier, save you hours down the line, right? So that's the first thing I want to go over. Now, basically, my plan to hit $30,000 a month in the next 90 days. So I'm going to go over it right here. So the first step that you need to do, really the only thing, or this is what I'm doing, I shouldn't say you need to do, this is just what I'm doing, is reverse engineering it. So reverse, and don't mind the handwriting, reverse engineer, abbreviate. So the first part is just reverse engineering the process. Now what that means is finding the output you want to get. So the goal is 30K. Now, so that's the goal. So how are we going to actually hit that 30K? Well, you need to break it down into different inputs, right? So the inputs are the daily actions or what you do each day in order to get that. So these are the inputs. So the way you can reverse engineer your goal, once you have that goal, you need to basically break it down. So I'm going to go through it right here. So the goal is 30K a month. Now, starting off, what is my offer? What's your offer worth? So for me, offer is 3K. and I'm actually thinking about raising the price as well, but that's the offer for now. So $3,000. Now, if you do the math, 3 times 10 equals 30. So that means I need 10 new clients to hit 30K, right? Because a 3K offer selling 10 clients, it's not rocket science, right? So now how are we going to get, so now we know we need, okay, I need 10 new clients. So how am I going to get 10 clients? Obviously it's outreach, and you need a way to speak to these people, get your offer to them, but we need to break down the exact numbers on how many we need in order to hit that. So let's say our closing rate, starting off, my closing rate is about, I'm going to be conservative, I'm going to say 20% right now. So, and that's being conservative. That's what you should do when you're reverse engineering, is be conservative. Don't use numbers that are unrealistic. So let's say the closing rate is 20%. So that means 1 out of 5 clients I'm closing. So now that we know that, we need 10 new clients and the closing rate's 20%. So you do 10 times or divided by 0.2. That means you need 50 sales calls, 50 calls to close 10 clients. So 50 showed calls would equal 10 clients, right? Because 20% show rate, that's, or no, 20% closing rate, you need 50 calls to get 10 new clients, right? So now that we know that, we need 50 showed calls in the month. So now we need to take into consideration the show rate. So let's say the show rate is, let's be conservative again, let's say 50%. So say the show rate is 50%. So 1 out of every 2 calls are showing up and 1's not showing up. So that means if we need a 50 showed calls per month to get 10 new clients, that means we're going to need to double that. We're going to need 100 booked calls, 100 calls per month in order to get 50 showed calls, right? So that's the number right there. We need 100 booked calls per month, and not showed calls. We just need 100 booked calls, taking into consideration the 50% show up rate. So now breaking it down week by week. So obviously we're going Monday through Friday, right? We don't do outreach on weekends because most business owners aren't going to answer the phone, do any of that stuff on weekends. So right now I have, for context, I have 6 cold callers. 6 cold callers. Now, let's say each one, the minimum I tell them to do is 150 calls per day each. So the minimum I tell them to do is 150 calls per day. So that's how many dials they're doing. Now we multiply that by 6, and that's 900 calls per day for all my cold callers, for my entire agency, you could say. So we're doing 900 calls a day, and the typical KPI, what you want to hit with cold calling, is 1 to 3%. Meaning for every 100 calls, you want to book 1 to 3 calls out of those. So this is a 1 to 3% ABR, average booking rate. So again, being conservative, if we're doing 900 calls a day, conservatively, that would be 9 appointments booked per day, right? Because if they're booking 1 call out of every 100, then that's 9 appointments per day. And right there, so 9 appointments per day, and there's 5 days in the week, so that's 45 appointments per week right there. And that's just booked appointments, not showed. But now we take that number and we need to calculate how many are going to show up. So let's take half of that. So divide it by 2, and that's about 22 showed appointments each week, right? Taking into consideration the show up rate. So 22 showed appointments per week. And our goal for the month, or what we needed in order to hit 30K, is, where is it? We need 50 showed appointments. So there's 4 weeks in the month. So if we go 22 times 4, I don't know what that is, 44, 66, 88. That's 88 showed appointments per month. So with 88 showed appointments per month, if we're closing at 20%, so we're closing at 20% with 80 showed appointments. Let me do the math on that. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. 88 times 0.2. So that's 17.6. We'll round to 17. So right there, 88 appointments booked. We close at 20%. That's 17 clients per month. And what's seven? And our offer is 3K. So 17 times 3 times 3,000 equals, let's see, 17 times 3,000 is 51K. So you can see right there. And that was using conservative numbers as well, all using the minimum for everyone. But that's the process right there. I'm going to break it down by the inputs. So we're needing 50 showed calls, and that will be 10 new clients at a 20% close rate. So breaking it down with my cold callers, if they're doing 900 dials a day, ABR or KPI is 1 to 3%. That's 9 booked appointments per day on the lower end, times 5 days in a week. That's 22. That's 45 appointments per week divided by 2. It's about 22 showed appointments per week. 22 appointments per week times 4 weeks in a month. That's 88 showed appointments per month at a 20% close rate. That's 17 new clients per month, which 17 times a $3,000 offer is 51K right there. So you can see, honestly, super, super simple. When you break it up like this, you know that, okay, so I'm going to need my cold callers to do at least 900 dials a day. I'm going to make sure they're staying on track with this 1 to 3% ABR. And if they're doing this consistently and we're able to hit 9, 10, 11 appointments per day, I know the numbers are just they're going to figure themselves out, and we're going to get numbers similar to this because I just reverse engineer it using the data that I already have. And it's going to get a lot more specific as well as I keep tracking, figure out what the more specific numbers are. I get an exact closing rate. I get an exact KPI or ABR for the appointment setters. Like maybe one of them's booking 3 appointments per every 100 dials. And that's just going to substantially increase the numbers even more. But this is just being conservative. So that's exactly how I'm going to hit 30K in the next 90 days. And you can see right here, if I'm doing this and all goes to plan, I'm doing these inputs consistently, I'm going to hit 50K in the next 90 days or so. And that's honestly the goal. I think 30K that's not even going to be too hard to do when you just break down the numbers like this. So that's exactly how I'm going to do it. And that's basically reverse engineering. So I highly recommend you do this for your agency. You get the numbers conservatively, and you start with the output and then break it down by the inputs, and it just makes it so much more manageable. Because this way you don't have to measure your success based on the goal you're hitting. As long as you're hitting those daily inputs in terms of number of dials, you're within KPI, you know you're going to get the output because you're consistently hitting those inputs that you need to do each day. And just writing it out, setting it all before you so you know, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. And if I do that, I'm going to hit my goal, right? And you can see even here, the goal is 30K. If I'm doing all this, I'm going to hit 51K, right? So it's just stuff like this. I just need to consistently hit these inputs, and I know I'm going to get these outputs because I literally calculated it scientifically. Data doesn't lie, numbers don't lie. That's why you need to do this and track literally everything. So that's the exact process right there. Now, one other thing now I wanted to add as well, something that's been helping me and that I want to continue to do is, you're probably wondering what this is, but honestly for me, something that's been helping is just visualizing. So visualizing success, and I do this in different forms. This is something I didn't usually do before, but something recently is just visualizing where I see myself, where I want to be, what's the goal with all of this, right? And I know that the journey, the process, that's what we remember. That's the fun part. But of course, the whole goal for me is remembering that, okay, I want to have a lifestyle business. So off of that, I'm not trying to grow in a 100K a month agency, have 20 team members, have 30% profit margins, right? That's just not the type of business I'm going for. I'm going for more of a lifestyle business. I'm working a couple hours a day, maybe a couple hours a week, ideally. And I have a team and I'm just creating leverage, right? And just delegating. And that's something I'm doing right now. And I'm learning about that and seeing the impact and the power of creating leverage. So for me, that's what I want to do. And once I get to those numbers and I have that leverage, I just want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to do cool things. So I just have all of these pictures of just kind of where I want to be. And you can see it's not a lot of materialistic stuff. Obviously, like a penthouse would be sweet, but I just want to go to the city, just be around wealth. I think that is really something that is slept on. The frequency that you surround yourself around, that's the type of person you become. So even here, I definitely want to network. I want to travel with other entrepreneurs who are doing better than me, learn from them, because you are your environment, right? So I think right now I'm still in my hometown, but I do think that to get to the next level, it's going to be taking taking a leap of faith, traveling with other like-minded people, networking, and just learning from the best, but also just experiencing the world and being around wealth 24/7. So we got like Dubai, Miami, Cape Town, all that fun stuff. And honestly, that's the life I strive for. That's the life I want. And that's basically the goal with all this. So that just helps me. A lot of you probably think I'm crazy, but it does help just putting it into perspective, and you can remember, okay, this is what I'm working towards, and it just makes the journey a lot more fun, right? And it's just a constant process of trying to reach your potential, and I found that just helps a ton for me. So you can do this, just one, journaling, writing down your goals, which is something I've started doing and it helps so much. Two is, honestly, this sounds kind of corny, but just watching other people live that life. There's a bunch of people are documenting their lifestyle on YouTube and stuff like that. So even just watching one of those videos every couple of days, or maybe when I'm eating dinner one night, it's just cool to see the life other people are living and see that it's possible. And it honestly just motivates me. Now, I'm not saying this is going to work for everyone. This is just what works for me when I'm doing what I found helpful. But that's pretty much my big goal with all this. Just to do cool things, see the world, and just network. Now, having said that about networking, if you are an agency owner, you're similar minded to me. You agreed with the stuff I said, and you have goals similar to this. You just want to travel, you want to network, be around like minded people. Definitely connect with me on Instagram. That's something I love when people connect with me for my videos. And yeah, I'd love to just get in touch. We could have a group chat as well, start building up that community, and basically we can all travel together, travel the world, go to Miami, Dubai, all that cool stuff, and just continue to level up and just help each other level up. So DM me on Instagram if one, that sounds like you, but also two, of course, if you have any questions about anything that I went over in this video, anything about the process, just any questions you have in specific, just about SMMA, business in general. And again, I'll do my best to answer it as quick as possible. I'll send you a voice note or a Loom, but I'll definitely get back to you because I just love giving value and just helping out. But other than that, that's exactly how I'm planning to hit at least 30K per month in the next 90 days. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm planning to do. And I'm going to continue documenting my journey, showing you how it all goes, just so you can basically follow along, but I can look back upon as well. But having said that, I hope you got value from this and looking forward to talking with you soon. Peace.